All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Psychedelic Light Show review. This is episode 15. Again, I'm your host, Steve Pavlovsky. As always, we got Chris Zamardish with us. And this is going to be the last show of the season. We've been doing this since, I don't know, I think like February or something like that. Quarantine project, things are picking up and we're getting busy again. So I wanted to bring on one of my favorite light shows that are contemporary. They're doing it now. And that would be Stranger Liquids. We have Andrew and Liam coming to us live right now from Los Angeles. And I love their work, and you're going to see some really cool stuff, a lot of cool images. And we're glad to have them, and we're glad to have them as the last guest on for this series that we've been doing.
We're glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, guys. Yeah, it's nice to see you guys in person, and after talking all these years, and finally actually kind of meet, even though it's digitally, but whatever.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah. I mean, I bought my first plate of glass from you like all the way back in 2016. So this is definitely
nice.
trippy.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah. All right, Chris Zamardish is going to start off a slideshow for us.
Okay, so I got my West Coast brothers here, Stranger Liquids. So let's kick this thing in. That's cool, inspired by the Brotherhood of Light, which is, quite nice for you guys to have mentioned that to me. And here we go.
It's honestly crazy talking with you.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, we got like 3 generations here now, almost.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, it's cool.
Somebody's got to carry that torch. Okay, well, why don't you guys want to talk about this, your logo and stuff there? And then
So when I first started, it was pretty much just me and my roommates. We kind of just did it in my backyard at first, and my roommate was actually a graphic designer, and so I asked him just to draw up a logo kind of based on the text from the 60s and 70s and stuff from the flyers, and he came up with this, and we kind of just stuck with it ever since.
Nice. Yeah, it looks good.
Threw it on a swirl plate back there. That's a swirl plate, right?
Yeah, I used to take like work trips up to like Northern California, and I would just be in a hotel for most of the day until my call time, and I would just do swirl plates in my hotel room and just take pictures and stuff on my phone. So.
Nice.
Got to live with that light show, man. That's how you
man. Honestly, I was really about it.
Let me tell you, I've done the same. Okay, well, let's go to one of your or 2 of your plates here. So,
those are beautiful.
Yeah, and these really remind me of the stuff that Brother Ed taught me, and that Pete and I do still. So
they're very like blobby and well-defined shapes. Is really good. Yeah,
we were primarily taught by I watched your videos first when I first started, and kind of developed the technique as we got more glass. But we also met an older head named Richard Young. He goes by the Wizard Light Show. Yeah, he worked primarily in the Los Angeles, Pasadena area back in the day, and just happened to meet him and started doing shows with him, and he taught us a lot about making plates. And he does more of like a water plate style, where we do like an alcohol plate style now, which I was taught by Marco Ferro from formerly the Blind Spot Project, which I know you've worked with, Steve.
Yeah.
He's a really good friend of mine, and I've worked with him a lot over the years, and he's taught me a lot about light shows and stuff. So
yeah, he's cool. Yeah, you learned from a good source. He goes back, actually. He was doing something called optical delusion.
Yeah.
I think they'll all the way to like the 80s or something like crazy like that.
I've got a question here. Is this just a gel you guys threw in here? A square gel?
That's actually that yellow right there.
No, the pink.
Oh, the pink is it's just food coloring and alcohol on the top plate. It's like a drop of red food coloring.
It just got such a straight line. I'm like, wow.
Well, it's because there's like a mask or something, right?
Yeah. So for our masking, we don't use like circle mats, the traditional circle mats. We actually use painter's tape to move to shape our screen to our safe.
I'm used to this stuff.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right. Let's go to these old school projectors next. Okay, so talk about this.
Yeah, so hey, my dog is here. Hi, Buddha.
Yeah.
So they're on the left, obviously, like that's the crew. That's me, Andrew, and Jacob working the 3 metal halides there. I think there's a Duquesne and 2 Elmos.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And this, I believe, is at the Troubadour.
That is.
Oh, awesome.
That was one of our like, I'd say like towards the tail end of 2019, we were really sort of hitting the stride of like every plate we made was consistently like a look. We could have an image in our mind and sort of achieve it. And it was really a big part of that was just doing so many shows. And if you see here on the right, that's Andrew actually doing a solo show in preparation for going on tour.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That was the first show of a tour out of LA, and I think that's the one that got shut down due to COVID.
Yeah, we were like literally
Yeah.
on the way to Austin, and they were like,
Oh,
"Yeah,
shit.
you have to turn around. Nothing's happening now." It's like,
What tour were you guys gonna do?
it's with a band that I work with a lot, or they're not a band anymore, but they were called the Number 44.
Okay.
But I had gone on two and a half tours with
Two and
them.
a half, yeah.
Yeah, 2.5 tours with
Cool.
them previously, and this was going to be the third.
Yeah.
And we had done one date in Arizona and then had to come back.
Nice.
I was doing shows in LA when that happened too.
Yeah.
I did with Almond Bets, and then we went up north, and then
Did you have to? You guys got canceled right after that, then, right after the LA date?
It was no, we went up to San Luis Obispo and we did a show, and then only like 100 people didn't show up that bought tickets because of the scare. So then we went up to Crossroads, Phil Lesch's place in Marin.
Oh, yeah,
We pulled up and they were like canceled, and they just drove us to the airport. And like,
Oh,
it
man.
sucks.
Said you all home.
Yeah, right.
It was like, it's over. See ya, because that was the NBA night. All that, remember? When the
Yeah.
It was such a trip. We had booked shows because you see on that left, there's the three of us, myself in the middle, Andrew on the right, and that's our third like kind of like
Main
lead
partner,
artist.
yeah.
Jacob. We all run shows with like not always on metal halides. We have a bunch of traditional overheads, so we can field like 3 or 4 shows a night. And we had
Right.
all of March booked in Andrew's absence while he was on tour.
Yeah.
There was a
Oh,
tour
right.
that we were going to launch in April, and
It
the
was wild.
shutdown was honestly wild.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. I was like, yeah, it was so surreal when that happened. I'm so glad it's like we're coming out of it now.
Oh, yeah.
It's already debilitatingly busy in Los
Yeah.
Angeles. There's
It's
so
getting
much
crazy.
traffic.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to.
Let me ask a question real quick. You guys are projecting through a metal grid here?
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
that venue in particular, if you can see, there's like a little chandelier that's coming down from the ceiling.
Yeah.
So if I put my projectors on top of the little table there,
Oh shit.
it casts the worst shadow on the screen.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so I
see.
was like, I guess I could just try to project through the grate and see what happens, and it doesn't affect the image whatsoever.
It
So-
doesn't, right? Because by the time like the light hits the screen, it's
all
already
has-
kind of it's already like crossed it and everything. Very
Exactly.
interesting. Really
So
cool.
it just made it easier to get
Yeah.
a better looking image on the screen. So
Right.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too. Okay,
Yeah,
so-
that's cool.
So here's the presenter shot. Next, we're going to go sort of advance into you guys each doing digital presenter stuff. So explain that to us.
you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So, I mean, the picture we were just talking about was, I want to say like the end of February. And then this is April or May of 2020, somewhere around there. Once we had sort of, seen the writing on the wall, live shows were going away for a little bit. This was a time to, kind of just pull our brains together and figure out how we could do live streams, figure out how we could get our, consistent quality plate making into a bigger sort of format that wasn't just getting larger halide projectors, because
Mhm.
at a certain point it caps out. There's like,
Exactly.
a 1200 watt metal halide, but other than that, we're not going to remake Baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And then like pretty much prior to this, like we were pretty strictly analog. Like I love the look of an overhead projection more than a digital projection. for
Yeah,
the rest of my
any
life.
day,
Yeah.
any
So
day.
we really tried to do any show we could as an overhead, no matter what. And
Right.
this was like, okay, we can't do that now. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
had-
I mean there's a limit to it, I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, I think analog looks so much better when you get it right. I mean, there's nothing
yeah.
like the quality of light, mixing in with other light. Like it just looks so good,
The
that
color blending
true
is-
additive color mixing is sick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I know.
effervescent when it happens on the screen. But
Mm.
what you see here on the left is us sort of you can see the little box with stickers on it and lights. That's a V4 a Roland V4.
Yeah, we see it. I see it. Yeah.
And that's doing, you know, the mirroring that you see in there. It's
Yeah.
also doing, you know, some colorizing. I think it's doing a negative on this plate.
On
Mhm.
the one that on my shot, it's a negative. Yeah.
Yeah.
In
And
this one?
so we started, Andrew had already started playing around with like video feedback and VHS sort of video jockeying kind of.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to take a step into that field and see like, okay, like what can we do? And yeah, like we were talking about in the pre-show last night, we had our first like full digital show at Los Globos, and this is
Nice.
this picture right here is literally the start of it.
Yeah. Before we kind of got more HD and stuff because
Yeah.
the camera we're using here is just a Elmo P10. Which
Right.
It's just I think it maxes out at 480p.
Yeah,
resolution.
they're just
That-
SD. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not HD at all. So our new rig is 100% HD, and
Yeah.
Nice.
we're working towards 4K right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Very, very cool.
so I'm going to be doing a show in LA, and man, I want you guys to come out if I have room
Oh, we'd be
with
Yeah,
with
I'll-
one of these
yeah,
the
super
presenters come out and do liquids with me.
Well, they don't have presenters. They're up to HD now, so they can
Well,
feed
we
into
could
your
bring-
rig.
Well, no, I could just do regular analog too. I'm fine with
Yeah,
that.
we I think
I
we
don't
still
need- I
have a
don't
few
need
of these Elmos kicking around too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
'Cause
I mean,
Andrew has his own show with just the SD visuals.
Oh, right
yeah,
on.
you
Yeah.
could come out. I could just take this machine, a plate, and you don't even have to have a V4, but you can have one too.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
I got a channel, just mix it in, boom.
Mhm.
Empty
Exactly.
channel on my Roland mixer because I got that multi mixer. All right, let's move on. So maybe we'll have to keep contact on that.
Oh yeah, most
Definitely.
definitely.
You know, because I don't mind somebody sitting in with liquids. I always enjoy.
Oh, we
it.
would be.
That's our whole thing too. We just did the 2 shows this weekend, and a buddy who was normally working plates for Wizard Light Show. We hadn't seen him in a year and a half. He came to both shows this weekend and
Yeah.
was sitting in.
Oh, nice.
That's a big part of what we try to do with Stranger Liquids is like, you know, we're not here to, you know, like gatekeep and like take money from bands. Like we want to, you know, spread this art and like provide like, you know, the this is like the real, you know, this is the real psychedelia, and like bring that to people. Obviously, like the digital stuff is like, you know, not the real, but the analog light show, like if anyone wants to, even someone in the crowd, if they want to come play on the plates, typically at our smaller shows, we'll just let them. It's
Oh, yeah.
it's very visceral, and yeah, we'd love to sit in with you, Chris. That would be
Oh, that'd
amazing.
be an honor. Yeah.
But
Right on.
We'll see. I don't know the theater. I'm gonna have to look into that.
No
yeah,
worries.
I'm not necessarily. I am going to tour in September. But I'm not positive 100%. But it looks really close. So I'm looking forward to that.
Cool.
All right. There's your plate.
Yeah, let's
right?
do the next slide.
There's your
Wow.
plate.
That's beautiful.
Thanks.
So-
Yeah, I did these 2 plates over quarantine actually. The one on the right was for a little video shoot for a weed company actually.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, they used a little clip of it for some of their branding. And then the one on the left is sometimes I'll just like can't fall asleep at night and I'll just do late night sessions, and that was just part of a late night session.
Nice. It's like meditative
Yeah.
liquids.
I like it when you get the liquids to do these long fingers like this.
Oh yeah,
Just
I think that's a
spiral
really
breakout, spider breakout there.
I think that really is attributed to our plates actually. Our plates are, I think, some of the best plates I've ever used, and I've worked for a couple other different light shows.
Mhm.
And it's just like the size and the shape of them. the
You
way they-
you got some from Steve, but you have other ones you collected.
you know, actually,
we have one bottom plate left from the glass that we've
Steve.
acquired from Steve.
Oh, they've all
I
broken?
break glass.
Oh shit. Oh man. All right.
Yeah.
I'll send you guys some. I'll send
Oh,
you guys
man,
some on the
that'd be-
house. Yeah.
Yeah, that we've with working with Richard Young from Wizard Light Show,
Yeah.
and then just a few other people in LA. We've managed to meet people who have I don't know if they actually have warehouses full of this glass, but somehow every time you need more, they have more.
It's true.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. This thing right here this thing's got a 4 Corona in it. You see those?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it's got this spider breakout, and it's got the long things in the middle.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that picture right there's got it all. You know, it's really awesome.
It's something. And
Now
you know,
I'm using these plates right now with Bob Pullum, original Brotherhood of Light guy in over in Hawaii, and his plates are like this too, man. They just rock, you know. And
Yeah,
This set, I think specifically, we've had like the whole time. Andrew's just had it in his bedroom.
I've had a long time.
Yeah,
That
like,
really-
bottom plate actually has a huge scratch right in the middle of it that you can't see in the photo. It just
I've seen scratches in these pictures, and
Yeah,
we'll get into that anyway.
it's just how it is.
Here you guys are with the metal halides still, right? Those are-
These actually aren't metal halides. These are actually just 4003s.
No,
Oh,
those
okay.
are 14-inch plates on the bottom there, the big ones, right?
Yeah,
I think 15
yeah, they're
inch.
15.
15.
Oh,
and
you
then,
got you guys are for
12.
real, man. You guys are.
Oh
for
yeah,
real.
I've been. I decided in 2016 that I wanted to do this for the rest of my life, and I really got serious about it.
Yeah,
just wanted to do it.
we ended up. I had a very similar realization about a week before Andrew and I got double booked doing visuals. When I was
Oh,
doing
wow.
digital fractals,
Yeah.
like shader toys and like like trippy hippie stuff. Nothing like crazy complex, but like it worked well for like what we were doing. And I went to a festival called Desert Days, and I actually
Oh,
met the Blind Spot Project guys there when they
Yeah.
were on it. And a friend of mine, I wasn't feeling too well, and a friend of mine was working sound, and he's like, "Hey man, like there's a couch back here with some water, like we're just gonna let you chill here." I was like, "Awesome, man." And like an hour or so later, I like completely lost myself in the liquid light show that was going on 10 feet away from the couch. And
wow.
pulled
This
myself
is-
together, walked over to them, and I was like, "Hey, like this is really cool. Like, can you guys, is it cool if I watch? Can you show me what you're doing?" And they were so open about it. They're like, "Hey, like this is what's going on. This is how we're doing it. Like just stand there, man. Don't touch any of the glass, but you can watch totally." And I was like, "Wow, this is what I want to do." And then a week later, we both got double booked on a show, and
Yeah.
he
Oh,
was
wow.
doing it. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Wow, hey man, can we be friends? Like, can I do
Yeah.
that with you?" Like,
Oh, awesome.
then,
And you guys
like,
are both from LA, so
Yeah,
yeah.
just
Oh,
complete
wow.
opposite ends of the county, though.
Yeah, literally. But
Yeah, that's how I was taught watching this guy in San Bruno when I was 13 years old, and now
And
I do it professionally. All right, so
I've had
here's
the opportunity to work for I've worked for the Mad Alchemy show at one point. I got to meet and work for Joshua White when he
Yeah.
came to LA and did the thing at the Broad, which was cool.
Oh, cool.
very cool,
Yeah.
awesome.
I
Josh,
just had
great.
the opportunity to just work with a lot of old heads, and it's just been really blessed.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah. Josh is a good friend of ours.
Yeah.
He's great.
You did a great show with us. Okay, here's some live shows you guys did.
Oh yeah. This is dope. This is the so this is like the analog projections, right?
Yes, 100% analog, and then this is actually with Meadow Halides as well.
Mm-hmm.
This was at our residency at the Satellite in Los Angeles. It doesn't exist anymore, sadly,
Yeah,
'cause it's COVID. But
yeah.
before, they actually let us take the whole month over every Monday of the month and book all the bands, and we could just do whatever we want in the venue, projection wise and stuff. And so we just went all out. And
Yeah,
just
yeah.
did
Okay.
every Monday that month.
Okay.
It was
we,
cool.
we had to pull like 40 amps of power from all around the building, and it's like an
That's
old
crazy.
discotheque from like the 70s that turned into a restaurant that then started doing music again. And the owners like remember at some point back in the 80s there was a full analog light show there. So if
Oh, really?
anyone who's listening knows about the Satellite in Los Angeles and you did a light show there, please just contact us. That would be
Yeah,
really cool. But this right here is this is I think in collaboration with the Wizard Light Show, and
Oh, yeah.
that's his metal halide projector doing the patterns there with a strobe wheel. You can't really obviously see the effect
Oh,
here,
yeah.
yeah.
but there's a
cool.
strobe wheel going on in this
Mhm.
shot. And
Yeah, I was wondering how it got the color, but yeah.
Let's go to the next one here. Yeah, that's great. And strobe wheels. That's kind of.
Oh, that's great too.
Same
Oh, yeah.
club, right?
So-
So same or different?
This is a different show. This is at the Wayfair in Costa Mesa. This is for a band called Dead Meadow. They usually do like bigger shows, but this is a very small intimate venue, and they just happen to be able to play here, and I got to do the visuals. And so this is actually a blow plate. That's the blue and the
Oh,
white.
okay.
And then the red and yellow is actually what I call a plastic plate. It's where we have a piece of cellophane in between the two plates with different oil and colors on each side of it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Wow.
So yes, you basically add like another layer in between the
Exactly,
yeah,
and
the top
you-
and bottom.
Exactly, and we
Oh,
kind of
cool.
pull and stretch the plastic to create the lines and the gaps that you see.
Ah, very
yeah,
cool.
you can manipulate sort of the four corners of the plastic the same way you would sort of manipulate a plate.
Exactly.
And you get these very like if you do it slowly, you get this like very like sudden like it's been building and building and building, and then bam, like you have a full plate in all of a sudden, and it's with the blow plate too. It's very textural.
Exactly.
It's a completely different look from a squish plate
because
Wow.
it's so like line oriented instead of
That's
log.
cool. I've never actually heard of anybody doing that.
I've never heard of it either.
I know that's
I
really
kinda-
unique. I know.
I don't want to lie and like say I kind of created this, but like I based it off of the Mad Alchemy's cracked plate.
Right. But he does it
Like-
on the bottom, right? He doesn't really
Yeah,
do it
he
in
does it,
between
like,
both of them.
I mean, I don't want to expose his secrets, but because I know he makes
Yeah.
people pay for his class, but
Yeah.
like he does it a different way, and I thought it was a really bad way to do it, and so I developed this way to do it.
Yeah, it's really unique. I've never heard. I never even thought about doing that. I mean,
It's there was a show right when we started linking up where we through miscommunication I had every piece of equipment to do this show at Cal Arts other than glass.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm
Yeah.
set up and I'm like, okay, cool. Like I left the glass in the car. Let me go grab it. No glass. And so
that's a
I start
nightmare.
climbing
That's at
the
Cal
walls.
Arts too.
Yeah.
Oh,
And so
man.
I start climbing the walls, trying to pull clocks down, and they all have no glass on them already.
Of course they don't.
Yeah. And so I go into my car and I've got like some cellophane over some food, like a CD case and a motorcycle visor from a helmet that my friend like let me use and like trash. And that was like the first time. And I think we started
God.
ever since then, we started using like broken glass in the show.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Other translucent things with hard edges, because it really helps to break up the monotony of all the bubbles.
exactly.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So many
Totally.
bubbles, just different sizes of bubbles when you're doing liquids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
And since we are so squish plate oriented as a show, it definitely helps spice things up.
Yeah. Definitely add some variety. I mean, yeah, that's something that I've been working with is just adding more straight lines or just more harder edges, things that are
Contrast.
juxtapose.
Visual
Yeah,
contrast.
contrast and juxtaposition. I mean, real art is works so much better when things are juxtaposed and contrast and
Well,
have
that's where
dynamics.
slides come in.
Exactly. That's
Exactly.
I mean,
that's what Andrew's been exploring.
I'm working on it right now.
You
It's
know,
just-
and that's where I'm. Where I specialize in slides, and I've always been the slide guy. So I can
talk
have
to you about
variety
it.
in my show because of that. And when I went to digital, I just followed the same themes. But
Yeah.
let's go to your next shot, because I mean, like Mad Alchemy, it looks great, but it's just the same thing over and over again. And
Yeah, and I mean,
It's a look.
it is a look.
it is look, but anyway. So here's some shots that you guys did.
Yeah.
This
You
looks
wanna
like
talk
these
about the
lines.
monolith?
What are these lines here you're talking about? What's this?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So like I was saying, like we let people come up and play with the plates if they're interested, and like both of us kind of learned through other people being generous with their knowledge. We've sort of tried to work with any other video artists, not even people who do liquids, but people who do
Right.
other very unique things like video feedback, obviously. But then there's some people who like a good friend of ours, Moray Bender, who
Oh, yeah.
uses
Yeah.
very just a wide variety of materials under a video presenter through feedback equipment to get these
Right.
crazy effects. And what this is one of the first large scale tests of our like current digital rig. And so you see some mirroring and some like digital colorizing going on in there with the liquids that are going on in the background. And then those lines
yeah.
there, those are CRT, I think it's actually VHS scan lines
Yeah.
from a
Oh,
broken
yeah.
VHS player.
Oh wow.
We
Wow.
were just kind of compositing them in with a video mixer. I think this shot is actually from when he was rewinding a tape.
Oh,
Nice.
you guys are really going for it here. Okay, let's get to the slides here. Here we go. Talk about these.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's
So over quarantine, I wanted to get into slide projection because I thought, I've always been really fascinated about the European style light show. I think it's absolutely gorgeous compared. Not like the American style is very cool. I mean, obviously we practice it every day, but I think there's something that's just, entrancing about the European show with the slide projection. And so I wanted to get into it. And so these are just some slides I made. If you look on the bottom, the little eggshell thing. So basically what I did was I would mix food coloring with Elmer's clear glue, and I would just mix it up really well. And then I would
wow.
like, paint the slides like that. And it works. It works sometimes. I'm still trying to find a better way to do it. Honestly, I just haven't really. Honestly, it's been like months since I've gotten
There's
back
a
into
brand of
psychedelics.
glass paint. I don't know if you know it, Chris. I think it's called Vitrali or something. I don't know. It's like it's not
No.
American. It starts with a V.
Well, you know what George Holden did? He took the old school gels, which are actually, theatrical gels, but they were gel, not plastic. And he would get them wet and then use them as his art, as his form. And then when they dried, they would dry and stay on and really get the color in there. But I don't think you can even get those anymore. I don't know. But yeah, it's hard when the stuff fades when the light hits it and stuff.
You get lighting gels. What are they different? Like Roscoe makes the lighting.
Well,
gels.
no, but now they're not real gelatin. They're more.
Oh, they were like actual gelatin back.
They were
then.
gelatin back in the 60s, and
That
that's
makes
how
sense that when you get
that's
them
how
wet,
they did it. And they get them wet, and then you can like cut a little piece out and get it wet, stick it on the glass,
that makes
and it'll freeze there. But
That's
so you could
cool.
actually do images and stuff with it. But anyway, that's what he was saying on our show. I just learned that on doing
That's
the show.
very cool.
Yeah,
I had
that's
no
cool.
idea about that.
But yeah, I also just hard images is really good to have, like
Yeah.
yeah.
different patterns and stuff. Cutting
Yeah,
photolith. Just
we,
do photolith.
Yeah, it's true. We actually collaborate with this one artist. He makes hand-drawn sketches of just like really intricate line work and stuff.
Yeah,
And
that's
so we use a lot of his images and patterns in our show, and I have some custom slides that I made with him, with his stuff. And I've tried to use it in the live show. It's just I only have carousels, and so like they're not very bright.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's hard to cut, like especially with the lenses I have. It's hard to like composite them with the overheads.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, or you almost have to just do all the lines for one song.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like when they're doing some fast song or some edgy song,
Yeah,
make it edgy. You don't have to do liquids every song. So
it's
I mean,
true. It's true.
That's
you
something
guys got to think about that a little bit.
we were I feel like right before COVID hit, we had hit this point of, I don't want to say dissatisfaction, but like kind of like we felt like we had accomplished everything we wanted to with like, oh, we can field 12 projectors and all of them have squish plates on them.
Right.
Like that's the you can only have a guitar solo going on for so long.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Totally.
And so we were really looking for like you're saying with hard imagery, like that's something we started off with patterns,
We use
especially
like transparencies. and
Yeah,
stuff
with
beforehand,
transparencies.
Yeah, on overheads. We've done that.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I love what you guys
the
are doing
quest
with
for
all this.
brightness really, really
trying to push things. I think that's great. Yeah.
We
So,
also use
yeah.
like prism lenses and stuff as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
mandala, hard edge, liquids. You got to start thinking in terms of
Oh yeah.
different looks through your show. So that the people would go, oh, that was the liquid song. Oh, that was the something else song.
Oh yeah.
Using realism.
Mhm.
Stuff like that. That's
definitely
what I
think,
do. That's what I do. I mean, I'm not telling you to do it.
No, you're
Yeah,
good.
I think that the digital show too, it'll open up a lot more opportunities for like sort of like, especially just like for literally just like you're saying, like realism. Like we can put the guitarist into the
Right,
yeah.
right, exactly.
you composite the the
Exactly.
logo of the band directly with like some sort of feed of the band, and
Exactly.
stuff like that, where it's more traditional concert visuals. It's not necessarily psychedelic, but
Right, but-
it lends itself to a full cohesive performance throughout the whole set or the whole show. Like it definitely, I feel like we're going to end up going
Absolutely.
that direction.
Well, I mean, even in the 60s, okay, so we're doing line shots and projecting with projectors, right? Line film. But we're taking a picture of an SG and then we're doing it high contrast, an SG guitar, maybe just for the hand and the pick. And then we're putting it on the screen during the guitar solo. And then parts of it, the liquids are coming through it, but it's a guitar. Do you understand? So,
Yeah.
oh, that was the guitar song.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So you're
Yeah.
kind of making a theme for your audience. You got to think of the terms of them not getting bored.
And that's really what I feel like the most potent use of concrete imagery in a psychedelic light show is that sort of, it's not like messaging in like a nefarious way, but sort of like that connotation and that connection to reality. Like
Sure.
to really ground the more tripped out amongst us back to whatever is actually happening.
Right.
Or like you do a video of a girl dancing, with a nice figure, and then you key your liquids on just her and the rest is black. So
Yeah.
your liquids are going, but she's dancing on the screen. It looks totally
Yeah.
awesome.
I mean, Josh talks a lot about that, you know, how like the importance of concrete imagery and how it's like an underappreciated, underutilized, you know, technique in the, you know, with psychedelic light shows. And, you know, that really is what like ends up like grounding you, like you said, or gives you some kind of like, yeah, it gives you some kind of reference point or something like that. It's definitely.
Right,
I think too with like people too, like you know, abstract
Right.
designs are cool, but people, like the most depicted thing in art has been people. If you go back through history, there've been more paintings, more pictures, more everything of human beings than of anything else. So it's like we relate to each other, you know what I mean? So like you see a person, you just like some kind of emotional connection, and psychedelic stuff is cool. And like if you're melting and everything, you're like, you know, but seeing a human being there kind of, you know, we respond to human beings. And yeah, so it's very important to do that stuff.
There's a specific transparency that I try to use every show that's just eyes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's cool.
The amount of people that will come up to us after a show, or it's not even after a show, like before the show, if it's just on the screen with like liquids going or something like that, people really do connect with that concrete imagery for sure. It's
How do you guys do
powerful
it
stuff.
with the eyes? I've thought about because if you ever seen the back of, I think it's the Grateful Dead's In the Dark album, I think it's like, isn't it like a whole bunch of eyes or something like that?
Yeah,
Or,
right.
right. It's like a whole bunch of like eyeballs like all put together. How do you guys do it? Is it like
I mean, just transparency.
It's one giant eye and then another giant eye.
oh yeah, nice.
It's not a lot of little ones.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And what it will do is like put a really dark plate over it, so it's not fully visible unless you're just letting the plate sit.
Oh,
you know,
cool.
it
Yeah.
squishes all the dye out
That's
and it
good.
thins
Yeah,
out.
That's good.
And
Yeah.
so when you're squishing the plate, there's just lines going everywhere, and occasionally you're like, oh wait, that was an eye.
Right. Oh yeah.
There's another way to do it too, Steve, and this is how I've done it. When you have the two mirrored projectors, you guys ever do that? Where you mirrored? So if one image is an eye, it's on the other side, so it looks like two eyes, right?
Yeah.
See,
And it's kind of staring out behind the band, and then you can do this psychedelic trip through that, which is kind of creepy though sometimes.
I thought about, you know, the reason I brought up that back of that album cover is because I thought about just actually compositing like a video of a bunch of eyes like blinking at you, and that would be so creepy to see like a whole bunch of eyes all stuck together just staring at you and blinking. And it would be like a freak out. Yeah, it'd be like a freak out thing for people, I guess. And
Let's go to your guys' album cover here. Okay, there you go. Talk about this one. It's really some nice stuff there.
The one with the girls is a band called Moon Fuzz. They're based out of Los Angeles. They're super cool, very Led Zeppelin vibes. But this is actually a slide that I hand painted and projected onto them. And we did like a bunch of, probably did like three or four different slides that we were going through, and then they just happened to just choose this one. So
cool.
Yeah.
Is that an album cover? That swirl plate? What is that?
Yeah, so this one on the top right, Noah, is the album cover for a single we did the music video for, and then obviously the cover design. And yeah, it's a blow plate with a macro lens shooting it, so you get like a lot more of the fine details inside the oil as the dyes are mixing.
yeah,
And then in actuality, the coloring here, it's negative.
it's reversed. Yeah.
So in actuality, it was just like a very like blood red and like a very, very deep like evergreen green. And under the macro lens, as they blend, you get these like super fine lines.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
So is that your Elmer's glue, the painted one here?
no, I don't think it is actually.
Okay,
I think this
I was
is
just curious.
just food coloring straight on the glass that I took
right.
a event to after.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, those are beautiful, man. Nice
Thank you,
work,
yeah.
guys. All right, here we go. Now here's your live show stuff. So talk about it.
So this is some more members of our team. So this is what we consider our Orange County team. So because Los Angeles is so big, we try to do shows all over. I'm based more so in what's known as the IE, the Inland Empire. And so we try to, this crew would try to do like the Riverside or the Orange County or the, San Bernardino shows. And so this is in Orange County. I can't remember the band that's playing. I think it might be Levitation Room.
This is Levitation Room.
Yeah, it was just for like a surf release or something, some kind of video. And so they played and they had us come out.
It was a surf like apparel brand.
Yeah,
had a sponsored surfers like movie drop.
Okay.
And this band Levitation Room is like
super good.
very good. They're awesome.
But we're using two 4003s, and then the middle one is the metal halide. And so like normally when I do compositions like that, I'll try to do like lighter plates on the 4003s and then a really dark negative space plate on the halide because it's so dark or so bright. I'm sorry.
So bright.
It just compiles really well.
You know what you can do is if you take an iris from a source for like a Lico, so you take like an iris and you put it underneath it, you can start opening and closing it, and you'll it sounds like oh yeah, they're not that expensive. I think they're like $75 or something.
I still have a post note from Joshua White with the
with that like using that
and he was like, you should get this, and I was like,
I got one.
The
other you can use the animation wheel on these too, would be, because it covers up one while the other one's on. So it would, then you could use, it would work that way also.
The original owner of, and like the source for all of our knowledge of metal halides is the Wizard Light Show.
Yeah.
And he's so big on that exact effect. That's what he loves about them, is that you can have, you have 4 to 6 projectors deployed, and you have 3 of them covered at a time because the strobe wheels are going or whatever, but it's still bright as all hell, and everyone can see the stage and everything.
Exactly.
It's also just about the iris thing. Our live show, we end up tending to do a weird effect that I don't think a lot of people would have ever thought of unless they have done hundreds of shows with overheads. You can do shadow puppets with your hands in front of the lens. Oh yeah. And it doesn't look bad. It looks interesting. Like just you got to play with it. You have to there's a 3D beam of light that you can put your hands into. It's very fun to play with that. Very cool. That's kind of how we end up like covering our projectors. We'll just stick our hand there as we do something else.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
We have like, if you look at the little flaps on the
the flap.
Those are normally like condensed, or like I think they're condenser lenses or some kind of lens.
It's like this magnifying. You're talking about the thing on the bottom.
Yeah,
it's like a magnifying glass or something.
I actually just tape over those and just black them out, and those are like my little dimmers. Because I tried to install dimmers on my projectors, but I don't know if I got the wrong ones or something. But like
they brought the whole brightness down.
Yeah, like they never.
You have to rewire. We did a show on that. You've got to rewire them. You got to rewire your lamp, just your lamp, to your plug.
That was
your dimmer.
We had it that way.
That's what I did.
But no, the other thing is it's a break in the line. A dimmer is a break in the line.
Well, it might have been the what's it called? Did you check the rating on the dimmer?
I mean, I can't remember it.
As long as it's more than the projector.
You have to jump your fan. Okay, jump your fan so it's always hot.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
And then what you do is you take one line off the lamp and break it. Do you understand? And then you put your dimmer in that break in the line.
Yeah, it was just like a weird like issue with like all the ones we put them in, because we did it the same way that you're describing.
Yeah, I think you might have done a video on it, didn't you?
Yeah. Like a while ago.
Yeah, but not a video, but
we just talked about
I did a step-by-step modification that I do. Like I posted pictures of it to the Psychedelic Light Show group. Yeah.
I followed that, and I had Wizard was showing me how to do it.
When we were doing this too, we were in the middle of like this like long search for brightness, because we had just started using food coloring instead of Doc Martens. And with food coloring, you can be so much more liberal with your dye. You can, it's $4 for
it's so much cheaper. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's way better.
We were making darker and darker plates, because I was just like, hey, like what happens if we just add more? Like why not? It's like the alcohol is cheap, the oil is cheap, now the dye is cheap. Like and so we would like at the end of every set we'd be like, okay, cool, like let's just add like a bunch of blue to this plate for this last song or whatever. And then we started figuring out like, hey, like we can do these negative space plates, we can get these very like choice compositions as opposed to just the whole stage being blasted.
Right.
We at that point was also when we were putting dimmers in, and so the fact that they dropped like 5% in brightness, we were like, no,
get these things out of my projector right now, dude.
Okay, so we might have to revisit it.
Let's get this short here. Well, I mean, if you get a Variac and you separate your lamp, You can pump that lamp up brighter. Okay, I don't know if you saw that
definitely
one,
also something we should.
but you'll blow the lamp at a certain
I
voltage.
got, not to cut you guys off. I got a question real quick about the metal halides and Wizard. He sent me something once where he actually figured out ballasts for, or like,
Yeah.
do you know anything about that? I've seen it, but I never tried it. Like,
I don't even know if he's actually explored it all the way. To be
oh,
honest.
okay, yeah.
But he was looking into it just because he had gotten some Elmo solar deluxes that were that the lamps were blown, and I also have some, but I don't know where to find a lamp replacement for it because the Duquesne lamp actually doesn't work for it, or I
Oh no. What's it look like?
It looks identical.
It's like the crack pipe kind of.
Yeah.
It's like a meth pipe. Yeah.
Double. I tried to install it into the Elmo and it just didn't work. I don't know what it was. And so he was exploring the ballast to put into the Elmo with the lamp so that
that's a different
salvage them.
Right.
But you can't get those lamps anymore because we used to be able to buy them all the time.
I mean, if you have a source, please tell me.
We found one, I think, at one point for like $180, and we were like,
Jesus.
What about just Elmo themselves?
They laughed at me when I called them. I've called both Duquesne and Elmo for replacement lamps and like parts for Halides.
Oh man, they're like, we haven't made this in 30 years.
The first person I called told me that, and then I was like, "You're lying to me. Like you're new here." And so I tried to call back, immediately, hoping to get a different person or whatever.
Oh,
and they were like, they answered it and just laughed at me and hung up. Like they clearly heard about the guy calling about the overheads. Like,
oh my god, that's hysterical.
They don't have really any knowledge. I mean, I have one of those overheads, the Duquesnes that have the LCD panel.
Right. That's where
and I was trying to find like any information on it, and like they had no idea. They actually gave me a number to some old technician guy that might have known. I called him, he didn't remember, and
I think you guys mentioned it because you can't they got like a weird plug on the side, right?
Yeah, it's like a weird 32 by 2 pin, and I have like adapters, but like it still doesn't.
So there's no like what should we call it? There's no like composite input into them, right?
No.
So you need so it's like a breakout box that
I almost need like an old, like a really old computer with that.
Right.
Serial output. Right.
Right.
It's not serial though, but it looks
SCSI.
Like
I think I don't know. SCSI was for projector. I mean, printers. But anyway,
So the reason we got all these Duquesnes so cheap was they got rid of all that technology, but they made a ton of them for like 2 years.
Well, they were that was like the peak. As far as I've heard, is like. They were like, as far as they were concerned, they didn't need to make anything better ever again. Like,
so there's a bit of like, first of all, metal halides are very hard to find. In part, I think because there was a point in time when like digital projectors started coming out, like LCD projectors, but there was a time when there was a whole hobbyist community in the early to mid 2000s, and they still have their websites up.
Yes.
Yeah, you've probably seen it.
Yes.
And what they would do is they take off the LCD panel, take the backlight off, put it on top, and rig them. Yeah, and so they rig their own LCD panel and make digital projectors when it was too expensive.
I was just talking to him a couple weeks ago.
I'm positive that community just like gutted the HMI market, and I think that has a lot to do with it because they're so hard to find. Like if you find one, it's
forum, like they have a lot of knowledge about other like that specific thread. I think where it's like a periwinkle background forum or something like that, or like
something like that.
But it's just like totally like I feel like we're talking about the same guys because that community they're a huge awesome resource for DIY projection stuff outside of what we do with liquids and slides and
totally.
Like, there was a bunch of cool stuff going on in the DIY community in the 2000s. Like
Well, the Duquesnes in '98, we were getting them for $100. Randy Merton had 3 of them. Brotherhood had 3 of them. Steve had 3 of them. And they were just selling them because they couldn't use the LCD style anymore. Mm-hmm. So, and these guys probably bought the rest of them, right? This group you're talking about.
That's my suspicion because
they were $100. That's what we're getting them for. And
that's crazy.
Awesome. And we were paying when the first Elmo we bought was the $3,000 or something.
Oh my god!
Damn. For an overhead projector.
We had 3 of them in '94 or something. We were using them.
These are the metal halide,
92.
metal
Yeah, the
halides.
Elmos.
Right?
We got the Elmos. We went to Japan and used them, and then when we got home, we ordered them. The Solar Deluxe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay.
That's blowing my
They were
mind.
really expensive. man.
$3,000. That's crazy.
I
Well, we
mine
had
from
road
a-
cases, and so
Great.
maybe it was two of them. It was we spent a lot of money on them. Let me put it that way.
Well, see, with getting into the digital show, it's really shown me just like how like the parallels are still there with like the amount of like literal capital necessary to produce like a large scale event. Like, it's, like, you know, the requisite projector, like, you know, maybe 12 to 20,000 lumens for a decent sized venue. Like to own one of those is so crazy.
Yeah.
Like at what we do, obviously, like we're not an AV production house. Like, you know, we couldn't take out a loan against like our business or something. Like,
But you can get a 10K projector for like $4,000 or $5,000.
yeah, those.
That's
the
what I
10K.
have.
Yeah,
that's what I'm using. I have two of them.
Yeah, we've got
Two
a little
10K Elmos.
The one thing is like, you know, older stuff.
Epsons. I have Epsons.
Like this one back here is 10. I got a 12K. But I also work in AV, so that they threw them out, and I was able to.
Yeah.
But they're beasts. Like I don't think a 12K is as big as, you know, what I have now. Like, yeah, it's like you get it for free, but you got the drawback of this. Like, I mean, it's huge. It weighs like,
they're like
that one's
refrigerators,
70 pounds.
The older 12Ks.
But the Epson 10Ks are only 65 pounds.
the new ones. That's
they're not new. They're old.
That's a lot. That's
I know,
still,
but for 60, you got a 60. I used to be 160. You know,
right,
right. And it was 5K. So anyway, let's go. To the next slide
So
here.
wait, can you tell us about the slide, or is anything?
You guys use color wheels. That's my question.
Yeah, so that's actually Wizards. I'm working on building my own. I used to be kind of opposed to the strobe wheel. I'm not gonna lie to you, just for composition reasons. I'm not a huge fan of strobing, but I've kind of come around to it. I really like it, and he's helping me build one. But this is his. Basically what we normally do is have two transparencies, one on each side of the projectors, and so it will flash between the two projections.
Right, like Chris was saying before.
Yeah.
And then there's colored gels on the strobe wheel as well, so it changes color.
One of the
strobe wheels with colored. Those are strobe wheels.
Yeah, one of the cooler effects that you kind of glossed over it there, but with the two patterns, you use the same moire pattern.
Yeah, exactly.
And line them up when you're mapping the projectors, so that like you know where the center is when you set it up, and you just slowly move one or both of the moire patterns as the strobe goes, and move them faster as the strobe increases. And it's pretty mind warping. You just by like that by itself is very cool.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. Here's some bunch of live stuff you guys do.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little, maybe.
Rest in peace, Ross G, the DJ in the middle shot there.
Oh, really? Wow.
But so that the pictures of the brick in the top right is at a venue that used to exist in LA called the Hi-Hat. Very famous venue in LA. And so that venue we did a lot of shows at, and we would alternate using a screen and not using a screen, because there's actually a bar where those lights are.
Yeah,
this is the Hi-Hat as well.
Oh yeah, that is the Hi-Hat. The bottom is actually
it came out pretty good on the brick.
Yeah, and the reason why he would do that is for that show, it would just like really draw you into the DJs and just make it feel like the whole building was coming alive.
Oh right, yeah.
We were about 25 feet straight back from the front of the stage in this room. It's a long rectangle building, and so the dance floor is about 50-60 feet wide, but only 25 feet back. And so it was perfect. With even the 4003s, we were getting this level of like saturation and brightness.
Yeah, that's good.
There's stage lights there too, and
right.
we would just start off every show there like very bright, and as we would go through it, get darker and darker, adding the dyes. It would end up crazy, like this shot on the middle there.
Yeah,
I love the colors on the bottom right. That's really cool. And you guys, because it looks like you got different projectors, and like the green, the shadow's actually a little green because you have different colors, kind of color schemes coming out of different projectors.
It's like top oil to me.
And I'm pretty sure that's only a 2-projector show. We work in a lot of smaller clubs and dive bars, and sometimes there's only enough power for 2 projectors. And
All right, guys, I want to move on here because
go like
we're burning some clock here. And,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. That's all right. That's
No,
all right, though.
it's
It's the last
okay.
episode. It's the last episode.
well, but
we
we
can chill.
we get if it's an hour and 8 minutes, we get less views. So,
That's true. Yeah.
so trying to keep it down.
All right.
So here we go. This is a beautiful plate.
Yeah.
You guys.
That's
did.
actually from the same series as the weed company shoot.
And
Oh,
is that
cool.
the scratch you're talking about? There it is.
Yeah. up
Yeah.
there.
That and then that actually is, so that's the bottom plate that the scratch is on, and then
Yeah.
that's actually a Pyrex dish on top of it.
This looks really nice. I
That's
really
what's
like
kind
it.
of making that ring that you see going around the edge.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
I see. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a ring.
It's one of the
Corona.
Pyrexes that doesn't have the logo. I got lucky.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's yeah, that's hard to find. Here's a really cool one.
I sell them in my store.
the swirl plate.
Uh,
that.
So this is just
Yeah.
this is in that same Pyrex dish, but I put a petri dish in the center, and that's what is separating the red.
Oh,
from
wow.
the
Oh,
green.
nice. Yeah, it looks really clean.
Oh,
man.
cool. Yeah, that's
Beautiful.
definitely clean.
I like that shot. All right, now here's your super digital jam. Talk about this one.
Oh man. So during the quarantine when we were, getting into the digital show, Andrew's this right here, this shot looks like Andrew's like project Andrew Carnegie, which is like SD feedback based, not liquids, it would be other like concrete imagery like VHS and stuff like that. But our first steps into the digital stuff was like through that lens.
Yeah.
And so we were, plugging mixers into themselves and then sending that signal, out into another mixer. But basically what you're seeing here is just two plates keyed into each other with a ton of feedback. And in the center is actually that eye transparency that I use on a ton of our shows. You can kind of see
Oh,
the sort of shape of it.
I see. It's like
And
right
then
here
the
somewhere.
center of the eye is actually a big moire, like a circle, like those rippling lines.
I
This
see.
is all. This is all done.
Oh,
with,
I
like-
see the eye. It's overall the eye.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the
Exactly.
eyelashes on the side.
Exactly.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
So
See
this
the
is done
eyelashes?
with the new the Roland mixers, or is this the V4
Roland-
still?
This is the Roland V1.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the V1. Oh yeah, that's what I meant. The V1.
That's
Yeah.
the one we've got.
Yeah.
We're in the HD space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is three of those color boxes, those light boxes that we built.
Mhm.
Into the V1s. The liquids are keyed together, and then that total image is keyed over the mix between the transparency and a feedback channel. And that's what's
Okay.
giving the overall liquids in front into the transparency into the feedback.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you can see you doubled them up there. All right. let's move-
Exactly.
Right. That's
Okay.
cool.
Here's just a combo shot of your stuff, which is just pretty and beautiful.
And yeah, that left side is what that sort of effect looks like projected.
Cool.
Okay.
That's that
Alright.
exact same work, like signal flow there on the left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
here's-
yeah. Yeah. And I can see.
This one. No, this is a nice drip plate here, or whatever that is.
Yeah, the left one is just another one of those work trip sessions that I had, and this image is actually what is on our business cards today. It just has our logo on the front and our number and stuff on the back.
Really nice. And then what's this multi-layered one here on the left? I just
Oh,
sandwiched it
so this one on the edge there
on the
is
right.
like where I'd say our digital show like kind of ended up without all the
Okay.
crazy feedback, without all the ridiculous keying, like very hard lines. This is a lot more of a soft mix with colors that are blending as opposed to cutting off and like changing stuff like that. It's a lot busier with like mirroring that's done in post.
Mhm.
But this is kind of like what our digital show sort of looks like.
Cool.
That's nice. I like that. It's like
Vibrant.
very good.
Yeah.
And
Can
then
we go
here-
back? Can we go back one actually? One more to the. Yeah. So on the left side, do you guys have like a prism over the lens or something? Because I see the girls doubled up at least.
I think there's both a prism lens and also a feed of the whole
model.
image, like from the projector's
okay.
perspective, feeding back into it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Wow,
Just like a loop.
very creative. Yeah.
Yeah, with the prism lens. So yeah, good eye.
Yeah.
Here we go. I'm going to go to this one.
Nice.
This is all Andrew.
Yeah, this is like you can definitely see the petri dish there. You see the edges of the glass.
Yeah,
But
right.
yeah, it's same thing.
I was wondering how you got that. So now I know.
Yeah, I've used petri dishes pretty much since I started. I think it's a good way to.
Yeah, they're
act something
cool.
different.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, here we are at
Yeah.
Stranger Liquids.
Yeah.
Should we go back to the three?
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, let's go back to us and Yeah, talk
All
for a
right.
bit and wrap it up.
Okay.
I mean,
We're like
thanks.
it.
Yeah.
We're right around 1 hour right now, so
All right.
it's cool.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. Thanks so much for taking the time and talking to us. What? Just real quick, what you guys got? What do you guys got coming up? Yeah.
We're at the W Hotel in Hollywood on the 4th of July. We're gonna be trying to get some sort of like old school club lighting, like late 60s, early 70s with like opties and slides and overheads.
Cool.
Ideally, we don't know yet still, because working with hotels in Hollywood is fun.
Yeah.
But
Hell yeah.
That's
And
a
we're also going to be at the Fremont Theater with the band called Jerry's Middle Finger on September 18th. And
Nice.
we're attempting to hopefully do a rear projection there,
Yeah,
but
we're-
we're trying to figure it out.
we're either gonna go all out with the rear projection or all out with the digital projection. We just don't know which yet.
Yeah, but I do want to, if we do get to rear project, I kind of want to do it at the scale of like Pig Light Show or Joshua Light Show. We really
Right.
want
Yeah.
to get that experience.
And Wizard actually has like trussing, like, or not trussing, sorry, scaffolding.
Scaffolding,
like
yeah,
full
like the
scale
old
scaffolding.
school scaffolding, yeah.
Oh wow.
oh,
Yeah,
helps.
that man has been ready since the 60s.
Oh yeah.
So he's out of Pasadena, you were saying?
He's at a place called Monrovia, which is like 2 cities away from Pasadena.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but
I've
he
heard of
used
him
to-
before.
He used to do stuff out of a place called the Rose Palace. I'm not sure if you remember that place back in the day, but yeah, he was like in-house there, and then he also worked kind of with Little Princess 109.
Oh, yeah.
a little
Oh,
bit.
okay. Yeah, I know. Jerry still alive, Jerry Radcliffe.
Yeah, he talks about
Liquid
his time
guy.
with them a lot, and I think he
He was like AV with the city of Pasadena. too.
yeah, I think he was on one of the farm communes that, like, one of the popular ones that were talked about back in the day. I
Oh,
can't remember which
really?
one he talked about. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wizard. I've
Richard's
heard
lived a
of
very
L-
full
LA
life.
yeah, Richard's
LA
definitely-
light show guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys should definitely get him on the show. I think he'd love to talk to you.
Yeah.
Probably next year.
Yeah.
We got to line up some old timers again.
Yeah,
Yeah. And some new people too. We gotta get some.
No, it's
yeah.
great to have you guys because it's some
It's
fresh
been such
blood.
an honor, man.
yeah, seriously, super
Very
on.
cool. Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. All right.
So let's sign off and we'll call this one a show. How's that
All right.
sound?
Well, thanks, guys, and thank you
Right
so much for
on,
coming on, and thank you everybody who's watched us for these past couple of months, and we'll see you again soon.